Gary Payton and the Seattle Supersonics.
Hey, Peter with the Seattle Mariners and Jermaine Kearse.
Cliff Averill.
Nate Burleson. You're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam.
You're watching NorbCam.
Monday Night Football. It's a late one tonight, guys. Just got back a little bit ago from the Seahawks-Falcons game, where we came up so short by 3 points, 34-31. Wow, you guys are still, see, people are still up tonight. Didn't expect too many people to be out there, but doing a little live Ask Norb just post-game reaction to all this. Thank you guys for jumping on here. I'm not going to take any calls tonight. I'm just going to talk and maybe look at some of these things on the chat. Just want to get some quick thoughts on this game. Where to start? I guess I'll start with the negative and go to the positive. We should have won that game. I thought when we got the ball back after sacking Matt Ryan and knowing we're going to have over a minute left, that we would win that game. It just felt so much in our favor. But this felt a lot like the end to the Redskins game, except not as frustrating. And I think maybe a combination of the Redskins game was more of a frustrating loss because you know we should have won that game. We dominated that game in so many categories, and we missed field goals and shouldn't have even been that close. And yet, at the end, we were still trying to move down the field and got to about midfield, and then didn't execute and ended up, having to do a very low percentage attempt to win that game. This felt in some ways the same way as far as the ending was concerned. But I guess because we were behind the whole game and we had so much going against us with the injuries and all that, it felt like, expectations were a little different. And so it felt like we played better than in some ways expectations going into the game. So it didn't feel as bad of a loss afterwards. It was still frustrating knowing that we had this game, especially, the way it played out, that you would always want to have Russell Wilson in that offense with the last 2 minutes of the game to try to win it. And I thought we were going to have another miracle comeback, and I just missed it I closed my eyes, I didn't watch the field goal, and I just listened for the crowd, and I could tell it didn't make it, but he didn't miss it by much. People were saying missed it by 10 yards. It was actually pretty close. But a lot of you guys watching. You guys are staying up late tonight. Now it's easy to, again, throw the kicker under the bus, just like it was in the Redskins game. But in this case, he made all his extra points and his field goals, and missed a 52-yard field goal. Now that's not a gimme, Unlike the kicks he missed in the Redskins games, all of those were very makeable. Oops, might help if I put my mic over here. There we go. Should have. We really, should have been made. 52, it was kind of, in my mind, I'm going, man, it's a 52-yard field goal, which is worse trying to go for, a play to the end zone or kick the field goal. It was a tough thought, with that only 7 seconds left. You really had to choose just one. But, looking back, you wonder what would have happened if we had gone for it. But either way, I think there just wasn't, a really great choice there. We were just a little too far to really feel like you could just comfortably throw it into the end zone and score. And the field goal probably was the higher percentage of the two, and he was just a little off. But, in a game as close as this, there are so many singular plays that could have changed the course of the game, much like any close game that we've had during the season, that we could have lost. Games that we could have, if you look back at the season, I've said this before, we could have lost games that we actually won. It almost feels a little bit like our luck has caught up to us. The football gods gave us a few back a few weeks ago, and now they're taking them away from us. I guess these things kind of even out, and your record really is reflective of who you are. We're 6-4, and that's probably where we belong, really. But looking at, it's so easy to look hindsight 2020 and go, what we should have done. But a few things stand out the most. The fake field goal. I'm with you there, JW. What the heck were we doing doing a fake field goal? And that play, it just didn't make any sense to me. I thought as soon as we were lining up that we could take the points. You cut this lead down to, I think it was up by 7 and cut it to a 4-point game and make this thing, close. And as it turns out, that field goal, which was makeable, was closer than the one we kicked at the end of the game. I think he would have made that, and then we would have been playing for the win instead of playing for the tie. And overtime would have been the worst case scenario. But so that stands out for sure. Beginning of the game, we spotted the Falcons 2 touchdowns. First one, it was right after that awesome kick return by Tyler Lockett, I believe, getting deep into the Falcons territory. And then 2 plays later, we just Russell throws a horrible pass. It gets picked off. It sets up another touchdown. So we get 14, points in the hole, just like that. And then the other play that we gave to him was the sack on Russell for the fumble touchdown recovery. I mean, there's another one that turns what should have been positive, offensive play certainly turns into 7 points for the other team. And that's the worst case scenario right there. We needed a play like that in order to win this game, and it unfortunately went the wrong way. So to get 14 points against Atlanta, or any team like that is tough, which I, felt like, and I see, am I switching to the positive? No, I'm going to stay in the negatives for a second. So those were, costly things that contributed. The challenge of the Baldwin, first of all, it was odd to see Baldwin bobble and drop a ball like that. We didn't have the luxury of seeing a million replay views, so I did not know if he caught that ball, but it seemed like they looked at it for like 2 seconds and decided it was incomplete. So the challenge was costly, obviously, because 1, we didn't win it, and then 2, it took away another precious timeout. And if we had that timeout, it just changes the entire final couple of plays in that that final drive, instead of it being forced to be stuck with a final decision at 7 seconds left. And we burned a timeout earlier. I can't remember the reason why we had to, but we burned another timeout. So those timeouts are so important in a close game, and we gave up 2 of them, unfortunately. And penalties, God, those freaking penalties. Now, some of it, again, we don't have the luxury of seeing the replays all the time, so we're not, seeing what exactly happened, whether they were deserving or not. But all I know is, we had less penalties than we usually get. I mean, we were 9 penalties, but it was for 106 yards compared to 7 by the Falcons, which I'm not surprised, because it felt like, that's only 2 penalties difference, but they were 106 to 69. That's huge. And there was one penalty that I thought they completely missed. There was a scramble play where Matt Ryan ran for the first down on 3rd down, and Bennett was coming behind him. And the offensive tackle, right tackle, got beat. And he just pushed Bennett in the back and shoved him down and basically, took him out of the play. But it was, he 2 hands, boom, pushed right into the back. And if I don't know what a block in the back, any better definition of a block in the back than that. And it impeded his progress, stopped him from getting it. So that was, to me, one very blatant call that they missed that they should have called. All the other ones, there's questionable pass interference calls and all that stuff. I hate to even bring it up. I don't like to argue, penalties is, or the refs did something to affect the game. I wouldn't go as far as to say that. But, they, in a close game, every little thing makes a difference. And so, but yeah, I mean, we just, that crucial one, again, if you just go towards the end of the game, that play where Seattle, we were getting the punt, we had all the momentum, we'd sacked Matt Ryan, we were getting the punt, and then we hold on the stupid punt. I didn't see it happen, but we got the holding call, and instead of starting at the 35, we had to start at the 25. That's 10 yards right away. That's 10% of the field we got to back up. And then when you look at the fact that we missed the field goal by 1 yard, you do the math, and it changes the complexion. You know, instead of a 52-yarder, maybe it's a 42-yarder, and he gets it right down the middle over the crossbar. So, you know, I try to look at only the stuff we control, and, you know, too many execution errors. I'm sure there's others that I'm not thinking of, but so those are the things I think that stand out as miscues / bad, bad decisions by the coaches and things like that. That we could have done better, that would have impacted that game. But let's see but I do want to talk about the positives. I need to give more credit to the Falcons, because Matt Ryan, I mean, that guy is amazing. He and his receiving core were making amazing catches on third down. Particularly, there's that one pass to Julio Jones on a very crucial third down drive where he was going down the right sideline. He threw a beautiful dime right over the shoulder with McDougal chasing after him, threw it in a perfect spot, and got a big, huge third down conversion, which eventually I think that led to a field goal, if I'm not mistaken, on that drive. But thought we were going to get that stop, and I couldn't do it. So those guys are pretty damn good. They're a good football team, and really, in a lot of ways, I thought they would carve us off for much worse than that. But give them credit, you know, because they converted when they had to, you know, especially third down, way too much on third down. You know, whether you say we sucked on third down or they were awesome on third down, one of the two, you know, but it takes two to tango. So, you know, they made plays and made some amazing catches. So I got to give it to them. Congratulations, by the way, to Sleeta. We had our bet from earlier in the week on this game, and clearly, having lost it, I'm going to have to face the music and own up on my side. So we will do a follow-up Skype video paying up and all that stuff. So I do owe him that. So congratulations to Sleeta, David, for getting the win, barely by the skin of your teeth. Let's see, what are you guys saying? A lot of comments in here. Daniel Kirk, Adam Schmeetz, Kopelele, X-Savage 92, Christian Herley, Daniel Kirk, Forrest Hopkins, DJ Marley, Christian, back in there, Adam, a lot of people, Mario Lara, and much more. Cali, one Cali. Will the Seahawks still make the playoffs, in your opinion? Okay, so I'm going to look at that in a second. I want to talk about the positives, because there were positives in this game. Let's look at the stats as we're leading into that. So, first downs, believe it or not, Seattle actually had more first downs than the Falcons, 26-22. We were not as good on third down. They were 9-14. We were 5-12. We ran more plays. We had more total yards. We had more yards per play. We had more yards passing. We had more yards rushing. You wouldn't believe it, thinking how it felt. But, you know, again, the turnovers, 2 turnovers to their 1, and they were brutal turnovers because they led to points. The turnover that we got from them, gosh, did it even lead to points? Yeah, I guess it did. We got the 1 turnover on that tricky kick there. But yeah, and time of possession, very close, less than a minute difference between, they had 30 minutes, 21 seconds, 29-39 on our side, so less than a minute difference. So statistically speaking, once again, we actually won in most major categories. The huge one that we did not was turnovers, and of course the points. Not too different from the Redskins game, except that one we clearly should have won that one because we dominated so much. But so we didn't play a horrible. Wait a minute, what am I looking at? Am I looking at the right game? Wait a minute. What is the wrong stats? I'm an idiot. Never mind. These are the wrong stats. Okay, whatever I just said for the past 2 minutes, ignore that stuff because I don't know what I'm talking about. This is complete wrong. This is the wrong stats. Okay, well, that's live TV for you. All right. I had a hard time finding these stats, so ignore, I guess, what I just said. So, let me see. No, this is right. This is right. Okay, never mind. I was good. I'm going crazy here. It's been a weird night. Power outage went out. Computer wasn't working. Weird stuff. Anyway, so I was wrong. I was right the first time. Anyway, so positives. Okay, positives. What I thought was good is the biggest question was, what was our defense going to look like post LOB? And not only did we not have Sherman and Chancellor in the game, but then we lost Shaquille Griffin in the first series of the game. So we were down two starting cornerbacks, and our starting strong safety. So all we had was Earl Thomas back there. Everybody else was new guys, backups / guys off the street, Byron Maxwell. And considering all that and who we were playing, I think it's pretty good that we didn't get more picked apart, because I would have thought he would have had a field day on us, and it looked like it was going that way. And the defense actually made some pretty good stops. Not enough, but it could have been a lot worse. So I actually gained some confidence in our team a little bit, in that it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Now, granted, I still believe that giving up 34 points, of those, again, 2 were sort of given to them. So maybe we're looking at more like, the defense gave up more like 20-something points, which isn't bad. But I still think, instead of what we're used to seeing teams scoring in the teens, I think we are going to have to start facing the reality where we're going to be scoring, opponents will be scoring in the 20s, which means that Russell is going to have to do what he did tonight. He's going to have to be the offense. The team is going to have to be on his shoulders to lead the way, as I predicted we would, and that we'd have to win in shootout fashion. It was a shootout. We just came on the wrong side of it. I predicted 31-28. It became 34-31, so I had half of the score right. But the offense, to me, showed some pretty good signs of improvement, in that I thought the running game was really looking good. I love that. What's his name? Mike Davis. God, that guy can run. I was like, wow, there's the running game. We haven't seen since Chris Carson was in there. And then I didn't realize, I was like, how come he's out? And then I realized he had apparently a groin injury, took him out of the game. It's like, man, just guys going down left and right. But if he can come back, I just don't know how serious that is. I just thought that's the way, our running game is starting to show improvement. If we could have kept building on that, if he can come back and continue to run, I think we could be in good shape. I just don't know his state of his health, so maybe back to Thomas Rawls and Eddie Lacy again. But man, I like the way he was looking with the running game. Protection, Russell got sacked. How many times? Do I have that even in here? I don't think it's in here. No, we did. Sacked 3 times. I thought it was 4. Sacked 3 times. One of them costly with the touchdown right after it. But I thought the protection was pretty good. A lot of times Russell was breaking the pocket and then getting sacked, 2 of those for sure. And so I wouldn't say that the protection was horrible. I think it was a combination of just Russell, kind of the way he breaks, out of the pocket. Sometimes he actually gets into trouble. And tonight was one of those nights where, they're pretty fast, those guys, and they caught up to him. So he couldn't get away as much as he could. But Russell did plenty of amazing plays to break free, but got caught in a couple of them. But I thought the running blocking was better. It just seemed like we were able to move the ball. We were able to show that we can hang with somebody in a shootout. And we're just, the shortcomings were in the red zone. We just had to take too many field goals. If we could have turned one of those into a touchdown, the game would be ours. We had to settle for a couple of field goals where, we need to score touchdowns. And, but we're getting there. But just the fact that the running game started to look some shines of like it's coming out, felt pretty promising about that. But we need to get more pressure. We only had the 1 sack at the optimal time to give us a chance, but the rest of the time, we could not get pressure on them. And we've got to do that, especially with our depleted secondary. We've got to be able to get pressure, and we just couldn't do that. So that would have helped on some of those big third down. We had some third down long conversions that are just backbreakers when it's like 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13 or whatever, and they convert those, are killers. So anyway, so positives wise, I just like the fact that we stuck in there and fought to the end, never gave up, where we could have easily the team could have given up and just, folded up. And like some of the fans I saw leave the stadium, shame on you guys. And, they fought to the end and really should have, could have won that game. If a couple of things would have went our way. But I guess I'm hopeful that I'm seeing signs that we can, this is kind of how it's going to have to be. Offense putting up points. We got to score like high 20s and 30s to win games now, because I feel like the defense will be lucky to keep teams under 20. So we're going to have to be just outscore teams. I can't do this, win close games with the defense holding them down. I think that's in the past now. So what does this mean looking forward? To me now, there's only one thing one way we get into the playoffs, and that is we've got to win the division. Forget about the bye and, number 1, 2 seed and all that stuff. I don't think there's any chance at that now, considering the gap between, the top tier teams and us. But we got to get the division, and we had a perfect opportunity tonight to get first place, but it's still not out of hand, not out of reach. All we have to do to get into the playoffs and win our division is we just have to keep pace, stride for stride, with the Rams the rest of the way. And then when we play them head-to-head in a few weeks, we have to win that game. And if we do that, we will win the division on the basis of the tiebreaker. So really, that's it. We got to keep pace with the Rams and hope maybe they stumble a little bit. That'll give us a little bit of cushion. So Rams got, they got some challenges up ahead. So, we'll see. But our schedule, I think, is much harder than theirs, facing Philadelphia and then Cowboys. Cowboys don't look as, after seeing them. But we'll be seeing the Ezekiel Elliott version of the Cowboys when we face them, unfortunately. So, that's it. That's what we got to do. Basically, it's a race against the Rams. I think that's how we look at it. We got to be as good as what they're doing and then beat them. Simple as that. So, it can happen. I think we could beat the Rams. The Rams, can't be stopped. It's going to be a tough one, though, when we play Philly, the way they're playing right now, which means that if we don't get that game against Philly, we're going to need the Rams to stumble one for us. And I don't know where that's going to happen, but if we don't get the division, it's going to be tough, because NFC is full of really good teams with records right now, and we're smack right in the middle of them. So, we've got to get the division. It's the only way. Let's see, what other questions in there? We got a lot of negative Nellies in here. Kopalele, season is over. TTG, I'm sure is raining negativity in there. Yes, there he is. I wouldn't expect anything less. Faux Productions, our defense sucks without Cam and Sherm. They say we win the division by some divine intervention, then what? Do you really think we stand any fighting chance against the Eagles? No, what are you smoking, bro? Hey, at this point, you just get in the dance, and then you never know what happens. Yeah, I'm not gonna say right now that we look like a team that can beat the Eagles. Of course not. We're clearly not on this. We still haven't put a full game together of 4 quarters. We played like 2 today of really good football, and stunk it up in the first quarter. But anything can happen. Win your division and anything happens. At least you get one home game, and then you kind of see what happens. But I just want to remind y'all, in 2014, we lost to Kansas City, and our record dropped to 6-4. And everybody was jumping ship. Everybody was saying how the Seahawks are done. They're never going to make the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. And what happened? We rattled off 6 straight wins, won the division, won the number 1 seed, and made it back to the Super Bowl. Not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that there is still a lot of time left here, and stranger things have happened. But what I do look at as a positive is that we haven't seen Seattle at their best yet. it's taken a long time for Seattle to put a solid game together, and they haven't done it yet. So if they can start doing that, this could be very different. This game could have looked very different. Score one touchdown instead of a field goal. Don't fumble and get sacked and score a touchdown. This game looks very different. If Seattle doesn't blow that game and miss 3 field goals and blow all kinds of opportunities against the Redskins, we're sitting at 7-2 going to this game, possibly then having an 8-2 record. Instead, here we're at 6-4 because of one play this way, one play that way. So but you leave it to too close of games because you can't dominate as you should be able to if you could execute throughout the entire game. And this is what happens. You leave it to things like a ref's call changing the game, a bad field goal miss costing the game, a missed challenge timeout costing the game. Every little thing becomes magnified in a close game. And we've had so many close games this year. So luckily we've gotten more wins than losses, but still at 6-4. It's not good. It's not good. We're definitely chasing and needing a lot of help, but technically we do control our own destiny with the NFC West, believe it or not. Like I said, if you just look at it as a two-way race between us and the Rams, we just have to stay even and beat them. That's it. Simple as that, and we get in the playoffs. So simple, right? What else I got? Will you take calls again? Yeah, I'll take calls again. I just figure it's too late tonight to do calls, so I'll catch you on the next one. We'll do calls again later this week. Norb's voice is deep. My voice is not deep. It's trashed because I was yelling so much. It's deeper today, though. Hey, baby, what's going on? Let's get it on. I need to do some inner world. And there goes TTG with the fire, bevel, cable, Carol stuff. I do have to say that I actually thought we called a decent game today. I thought we saw some mixing up of different plays that I found refreshing. Some formations that were a little bit, different from the norm. And it's easy to jump on the coaches, easy to jump on the offensive line coach and the offensive coordinator when we lose or we make a bad play. But you also got to give them credit when they do something good. And we had a lot of good plays in there that, a lot of screens. I think we had the most screen plays that I've seen in a long time, because I was talking to my dad on the way to the game, just kind of talking about screen plays, and it just seems like we were a team that didn't throw the screen pass enough. And we threw it a lot tonight, and I loved it. It was great watching different receivers. We had McKissick doing it. We had Davis doing it. It was cool. I mean, it's a great play to have, especially when you got a team like Atlanta is very aggressive on pass pressure to break up a good pass rush. So again, small steps, but it's signs of things to come theoretically. So Russell was, other than obviously the big mistakes, the turnovers, the fumble, and the bad interception, was pretty good. I mean, you asked him to lead the team down the field. There's a couple throws here and there I would love to have back, get one in the end zone instead of, that we missed, instead of have to settle for the field goal. But overall, he played about as good as we can hope for. And, man, if we just get a few things tweaked, this offense anyway could be much better. The defense, let's forget about the defense of old, the LOB and the highest scoring, the lowest scoring defense. That stuff's in the past now. We're definitely going to be a team that's going to have to win shootouts to win these games. So it's going to be interesting. But let's look at the remaining schedule here. We got the 49ers coming up Sunday. We should win that game, but of course, not taking anybody for granted. Then the Eagles come to town. Then we're at the Jaguars. That used to be an easy one, and now Jaguars got dang good defense, so that's going to be tough. Then the very crucial Rams game at home. Then we're at the Cowboys when Ezekiel Elliott comes back from his suspension, and finally finish up the year New Year's Eve with the Cardinals. And we'll see at that point whether that game means anything or not. We'll know pretty much if that's are we playing to get in? Will we already be in? Or will we already be out? Who knows? But we'll see. But group hug, Kopalele. Matt says, Norb, if you could trade Sherman for anybody, who would you trade for him? Doesn't have to be cornerback. Man, I don't even want to talk about trading. Trading right now. I can't even entertain that question. That's assuming that I would want to trade him, and I can't go down that road yet. It's too soon, man. It's too soon. Too soon. There is promise in the offensive line, though. As much as we talk about it, the Dwayne Brown is going to be solid in there for a couple more years, at least for how many more years he's got left to play. But Joker will be gone, but I like to think that Fetty will continue to improve, i.e. quit doing false starts and quit holding people. Posick struggling. I hope he'll improve. But then there's George Fant, the forgotten tackle who tore his ACL before the season even got started. And he'll be back. And he's going to be put somewhere. Everybody had high hopes for him. So, maybe he comes in there. Maybe we put him at right tackle, move Fetty back into guard. Or left guard or something. That way, maybe we got our 2 tackles there. Draft some more. We'll see how it goes. But we'll see. We'll see what happens on that regard. But let's see. What else we got here? A couple more questions in this little bit. Wow. How's Griffin? Love that man. Griffin, yeah. Losing him so early. It was a concussion, so he'll be back. It's just a question now, how bad is the concussion? Is it something he can come back next week on? Or, I don't know. We'll see. Those are tough to tell, but he'll be back at some point. Seattle, Mason Beneke. Seattle would have won if it was not for the first quarter turnovers and failed defense, right? Yep. Kopalele hates Dan Quinn. Come on, man. It's a good coach. Got to give it to him. Brandon Michael says, I counted 10 mistakes. Can't count on Russell to win games for us every time in the fourth. Yeah, no, I've been saying it, Pete Carroll's mantra is, you can't win the game in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. You can win the game in the fourth quarter. But I've also said, you relied too much on that. You can also lose the game in the first quarter. And that's what happened here. You put yourself 14-0 in the first quarter. You're not giving yourself much of a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter. So why not try to win the game in the first quarter? Because then you might really win the game in the fourth quarter because it'll be a blowout. That's just my only issue with that whole... It's not how you start, how you finish. Sometimes it is how you start. I'm still waiting for them to go no huddle, 2-minute offense to start the game. Would love to see that. Not the coaches, just Carroll, the 4th and goal pass play. 4th and goal pass play. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What do I think of the replacement on our defense, like Sherman and Cam? Well, we had McDougal in at strong safety, and, well, what happened? Shaq went out, so Byron Maxwell went in there, and then Jeremy Lane ended up taking, was that Shaquille? Or no, Byron went to Shaquille's side, and then Jeremy Lane was playing Sherman's side. They played okay. They weren't fantastic. They gave up way too many third down completions, and that was, who do you blame? But, those receivers were making those catches, so they weren't horrible, and they didn't get torched all night. And I think the worst play where they got beat, deep was that tight end play, and I didn't get to see how it developed, that tight end. It was a nice play design. They kind of looked like they moved it, flowed it to the right, and then Matt Ryan turned and threw it down the seam to the tight end, down the numbers for the touchdown. And he had a linebacker chasing him, and he was, I think it was Garvin stepped behind him, and then Earl Thomas got that stupid roughing penalty when it's like defenseless receiver, you're trying to knock the ball out of the guy from scoring. What the hell? Anyway, so that was probably the biggest deep ball where we got beat on, I think. So, at least we never let anyone totally get behind us and just like run for like 75 yards. Nothing. We had no broken plays like that. That was the worst one we had. So I guess I could say it could have been worse. In a lot of ways I was expecting worse statistically. So, they didn't do too badly. I guess I was somewhat surprised. It's kind of like this game. It was like when you go to a movie and you expect 4 stars and you get 3, you're disappointed. But when you go in expecting 2 and then you get 3, you go, wow, that was pretty good. I was expecting it to be crap, and that's pretty good. Better than I thought. So maybe it was just my expectations, because I really thought we were going to be in trouble, but was as bad as I thought it would be. So room for improvement for sure, but it's going to be a hang on for every game. I mean, even this 49er game, I stress, it's easy to go, oh yeah, they've only won 1 game, but man, they almost beat us at home. So, I'm not taking any way for granted. There's no easy games the rest of the way. I don't care if it's the 49ers, the Cardinals, or anybody. It's going to be tough, but got to take it 1 game at a time, all that stuff. But could have had it. Russell Wilson's MVP case helped or not with this game, Jonathan Velasquez. Well, anytime you lose and you didn't win the game, it doesn't help your MVP cause. And throwing a pick and having a sack fumble for a touchdown doesn't help your cause either. So I don't think this is one that's going to be like a star. Even for us, though, the fact that he was able to get him to back to a position to win is pretty amazing. And Russ, again, was leading rusher on the team, so he was doing it all different ways. I thought that he's playing like an MVP. He's carrying the team like an MVP. But as I've said before, the problem with when you don't have a running game and you live by the pass, you also die by the pass, which is what those turnovers came from, sack and interception. So, that's the only problem when you can't run the ball and you've got to rely on Russell to do it all himself. So, a couple more here. Mason Bedeke, Norb, how disappointed or angry are you? Yeah, I said at the beginning, I'm not as disappointed or angry as I was after the Redskins game. And that was our worst loss in a long time, just because that team came in here beat up, hardly anybody healthy to play, missed 3 field goals, should have won that game in so many different ways. It was one of those things where like 20 different things had to go the Redskins' way for us to lose that game. So that was frustrating. This game wasn't as bad because I think, one, we were expecting, like I said just now, expecting the worse, and didn't turn out as bad as I thought it would be. So, so I guess that I was left with a little bit of hope and sense that this team actually still has some upside left to it. And I guess that keeps me going, thinking that we can still be better than we've been. So, we'll see if they can get it together. We only got 6 games left to do it. Just a reminder, as I say up here in this line, for you guys who live around here, all the away games for the rest of the season, I will be hosting viewing parties at Emerald Downs Casino, starting with the 49er game this Sunday at 1 o'clock. So come on down. We'll have prizes. Last time that we were there, we gave away a 4K HD TV, jerseys, all kinds of cool stuff. So come on out. All ages are allowed, so you can bring your family, kids, all that stuff. So come see me out there. It's a pretty fun time. And we're 2-0. We're 2-0 when we watch it there. So come on out for that. It's going to be fun. What else? The voice of reason. Wilson is a beast. Can't wait to play him in 2 weeks. He's going to truly test our defense. Oh, this must be who's the voice of reason? Where are you? A Philly fan? You must be a Philly fan. Yes, reminds you of yes, that's the Philly fan. And I do have a very special music video coming up. It's my third rap battle with Philadelphia of the Philadelphia Eagles fan. She and I are collaborating on a video. We'll release it after the 49er game in the days leading up to the Philadelphia game. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. Want it to be a little bit of a surprise, but we'll be doing a, face-to-face video like I did with Sleeta and talking about that game and, and then premiering our rap battle. It should be pretty cool. We're in production right now. I finished the music. Now we got to shoot the video. So that was pretty fun. Yeah, that's it. Let's get close to wrapping it up here. Hawk 12 man fan, Norb, would you be stunned if we win our division? I wouldn't be stunned. Like I said, the formula is very clear. It's actually out there for the taking. It's just a question of can we match what the Rams are doing, every step of the way and not stumble, But we have a tough schedule, so I guess I wouldn't say I'd be stunned. I would be seriously relieved if we can pull it off. Who's my least favorite team? Well, DJ Marley wants to know. Well, I hate the Patriots because they're so damn good and they spoiled our party in Arizona in Super Bowl 49, and so that's why I want them so bad in a rematch. I don't know if I'll get it now, and even if we got it, we wouldn't get to have, Sherman and Chancellor. Kind of takes the fun away when your marquee players who suffered the most in the game that you want redemption for won't even be able to play, because it would be like if we beat the Patriots someday down the line in a Super Bowl, but Tom Brady isn't there, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't feel the same revenge, factor. So, but yeah, it's easy to hate on the Patriots. I guess the other one is like I can't stand Cam Newton. So the Panthers don't bother me so much, but Newton bugs me. I mean, that guy's like, he's like a little kid because whenever he wins, he's like, hey, look at me, I'm so funny, I have such a good time. And as soon as he loses, he just turns into a pouty boy. So he bugs me. I'll just go with that. Mason wants to know what's going to be the toughest game besides Philly. The Rams game, I think, is going to be tough. The Jaguars game is going to be tough. The Cowboys game is going to be tough. Probably in that order. So none of them are easy. So let's see, a couple more here. TTG wants to know how to get one of those Saved Our Seahawks shirts. They are available. Mark Collins, my friend who did the Save Our Seahawks campaign, I know we've got some more of those left. So why don't you message me and I can give you the details, TTG. As far as getting one, I just need to get your information, figure out the costs and all that stuff. But if you'd like to get one, I can definitely make one available to you. So Sleeta was swimming in Bud Light tonight. Yeah, I'm sure he was. It's going to be fun deal. Should we get rid of Blair Walsh? Matthew Hernando. I don't know. That's it's one thing if you missed like a 25-yard field goal, a 35-yard field goal, but 52, that's a tough kick for anybody. There's a lot of kickers that would have made that. Stephen Hauschka probably would have made that. But is it time to get rid of him? He made the rest of his kicks, and he was perfect last week. So it's not like the guy stunk it up for three games in a row. He had one really bad game, and then he missed the game winner or game tying field goal tonight. But is that enough to get him fired? Personally, I don't think so. I'm not at the end of my leash because I don't put the blame on him entirely on this game. Now, if it was a 40-yarder, I'd be cursing his name up and down. What else we got here? Hawk 12 man fan. Norb, the Brady curse is around the corner. The Brady curse is around the corner. I'm not sure what that means. What Brady curse? Most wanted 28. What do you think our record will be? I would like it to be no worse than 11-5. Like if I were to concede a loss to the Eagles, which it would not be a stretch to do, we could be 11-5, and I think could win the division with that. Norb, do you think that the Seahawks can go versus the Steelers in the Super Bowl this year, like another Super Bowl 40? I'd love it, man. If we had a chance to go to the Super Bowl, heck, I'll take it. I don't care who we're playing. But that's reaching right now, and I think the Patriots are going to go again. They got such an easy path every year. They have such an easy path to the Super Bowl because of the division they're in. The AFC is weak in general, but the AFC East, they got it so easy with that division. Where should I message you, Norb? At what address? Message me at norb@norbcam.com. All right, and I'll get you the information. Okay, in case you guys are curious, you can go visit my website, norbcam.com, where I have all kinds of stuff, including gear. You can get NorbCam gear. More stuff coming up there, but NorbCam socks, NorbCam caps, all kinds of cool stuff like that. How loud was the crowd tonight? Joey Igo wants to know. It was loud. I wear earplugs because, I do want to protect my hearing. I already have issues with this ear already, so, but it was loud. I took them off for one point, and, it was rocking. That fourth quarter at the end, the last 2-3 minutes, man, it was loud. I don't know what it felt like down at the field, and, it was loud. It was cool. It was very exciting. Let's see. Orlando Zamora, guitar lover. How do you think we should set up our cornerbacks? I think Sherman, Shed, Maxwell, Griffin. Shed, we still don't really have a time frame on his return. So, I'd love to see Shed. Shed was doing pretty good. It's a shame that, this injury's been lingering so long. But I'd like to see what he can do. But I agree. I mean, Jeremy Lane, it's not been great, So I'd like to see, if Shed can come back and hold down that left corner spot of Sherman's, I'd give him the nod if he's able to, physically do it. What do we got here? Josh Galicia, by the way, Saints, Eagles, Vikes, Rams playing. It's hard. Yeah, no, these are all good teams. Saints on fire right now. Isabella wants to know, do I have season tickets? Yes, I do. Mason, hey Norb, I blame Pete's call and Wilson's pick for our loss. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Most wanted 28. I could see us winning out if we stop effing ourselves. That's pretty much it. I would probably use less colorful language, but shooting ourselves in the foot pretty much is my way of putting it. Our cornerbacks are getting burnt out there, but I'm optimistic that they're just adjusting to the situation that we need. Hopefully they adjust right away. Matthew Hernando. Well, you realize how much Sherman was great, defending the deep ball. He had his moments, every cornerback does, where they get beat in front. I shouldn't say beat, where they give up cushions in front and get completions in front of them. But Sherman was always really good at downfield plays, just being a factor in there. So we've been spoiled. So now we're seeing the reality of things, and it's not going to be the same. But most guys will improve. But we've got to improve on those crossing routes. Those are killing us. Oh, Christian, wonder if Malik McDowell will ever make it back. He's kind of become he's like this phantom menace. This guy whose name we know, but whose face is unseen. Kind of like CJ Procise. Those guys could be hanging out together. They'd be a good tandem. CJ Procise and Malik McDowell. Mystery man. Great players who just can't seem to get on the field. Who knows with the Malik McDowell thing? That's just a weird deal. I just don't know if that guy's ever going to play. He must have really messed himself up on that accident. Really messed himself up. Hey, Norb, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Family get-togethers on Thanksgiving, both sides of the family, and then Friday we're doing an extended family thing. So, yeah, you know, Filipino style. So we'll have some turkey, but we'll have some Filipino food too. Honestly, once Sherman comes back, we should trade Jeremy Lane and try to get something out of him, like an O-lineman or a draft pick or another position. Well, Lane won't be back. I mean, we already tried to get rid of him once. I don't think they'll renew him. So, yeah, this is probably the last we'll see of him. He's playing for his next job. Yeah, this is a good one. Travis Lassa. Pats are so boringly good. That is a very good way to put it. They're so dang good, and usually when they're just blowing out teams, they're another Patriots win. It must be fun to be boringly good. Here we are on the edge of our seats screaming like going on a roller coaster with your hair on fire and biting your nails off to the final seconds. Iron, what's it, WLF? I think we still have a chance to make the playoffs. And or what is Seattle going to do with just 2 running backs? Well, yeah, make it work and hope Lacey and Rawls can stay healthy. I guess there's an outside chance that Carson, not Carson. What's his name? Chris Carson. Chris Carson could be back for the postseason. So, for what it's worth, I think he's still our leading rusher. He's been sitting on the bench for several weeks, and he's still our leading rusher outside of Russell Wilson, of course. My nose itches. Norb, how tall are you? I'm a little taller than Russell Wilson, like 5'11". Depends on how long my hair is, or tall my hair is at the time. TTG just sent a message. All right, I'll check it out. Thanks. I think Rawls is gone. Says who said that? Who said Rawls is gone? Where was that comment? I just lost it. Why can't Seattle play a full 4 quarters of football? That's been the thing. Can't do it. All right. Well, it's getting late, folks, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. 12:40. What are you guys doing up? It's 12:40, and some of you guys, where are you guys from? Are you guys on the West Coast, or some of you crazy people still up on the East Coast, being up at 3:40 in the morning? Don't you guys have school tomorrow? Don't you have work tomorrow? What are you guys doing? What am I doing up? I got stuff to do. Anyway. All right, well, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I appreciate you guys hanging with me here. That's crazy, you guys. I love it, though. Appreciate you chiming in. Enjoyed your questions. We'll do a call-in next time. And, it ain't over. We still got a chance. It's our margin of error is sleepy. Margin of error is shrinking. All right. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Just hit that button right over there. And check out my other videos. The reaction video to this was pretty intense. I must say. I thought we was going to have another miracle one, but oh well. Oh, Ale de Leon in Manila. Look at that. 3 a.m. in Chicago. You guys are crazy. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. We'll get it. Get one this week against the Niners. All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk soon. Go Hawks.